minus one. Oh my, oh, it's online, okay. I guess, all these fungal, antifungal things are, making me somewhat, my brain is really working very badly. But anyway, moving forward very slowly, very slowly, very slowly. I have the thing in regards of what I want, but having, and of course, all the formats, you just get into one issue after another. Then the player can play this format or that format, and you need to change it and all that. And then it breaks the video, and I found out that was a specific application that apparently did that. So it wasn't the files, but the application itself that had problems with. And then I do wonder why it wants to delete it. It should create it instead. Anyway, so and then finding out in regards of tags and in regards of optimizing MP4 files, and it's just and then finding out that one program apparently had problems in regards of playing these in this compression mode apparently, which makes it break and that, and I updated it and then it worked, and I found out it worked in other programs as well. It's like, I was like, why doesn't it work? It's like, oh my, give me a break. So it wasn't the files overall, but it was the program, and I wouldn't expect the program to break, but apparently that was, so the thing is, you're doing all these things in regards to the website things and all that, and then let's see if we can get the light away here, and then you get into one issue after another. It's like some of the files I would just expected, you could just upload them and all that and it would work, right? No, you have to be kidding me, right? Of course, it's just a madhouse overall in regards of, when I buy something, you have all this security thing, so you cannot just take it off the disk and get it on your mobile and all that. No. We have to have security on and other formats, different formats from one single format that does the exact same thing but is free. No, we can't use that format, right? We need to use huge amount of different formats, right? Because that just doesn't make sense, I think. Because they just to make it totally more, let's just get some more formats out on the market. Oh my. Anyway, so I'm looking into, let's close this down. I'm looking into the colors. I've made some rainbow colors here, as we can see. Seem to be working pretty good. The colors are a lot worse on my computer screen, but it's, I guess the computer is over 10 years old, so oh my. It seems to work pretty good, but and I still have a lot of things to but my brain is really not with me with all these antifungals and all that. The thing, of course, is in regards of the rainbow colors. I have two ways of fixing it. One is this way and the other is this way. When it loads, well, it is moving forward. I still have a lot of things that issues here and there and all that, but and of course my brain is not. And I have the other old computer that I have it working on some video files to make them into MP4 files and all that. And again, not only did I have problems in regards of just, I thought it was destroying the files, but then I found out it's the player that is the problem. And then I upload the videos, and then the video player on the web can play the sound. And I'm like, oh my, you have to be kidding me. So if you see on the computer, the video, the what do you call, the sound was working, or the audio was working pretty good without any problems. But then on the web application, we have issues. So the question is, why would we have issues with that? And I have to find out about that as well. So I'm trying to sort that out. What is the issue when I'm trying to make one format into another? What is the problem here? What setting do I need to and the problem is, a lot of these files that I'm making takes a long time to to make one format to another format. Now, of course, it wouldn't be a, you can set it, and of course the other computer that I have that doesn't really have a graphic card in it, that burned off and all that, so I got the computer for free. But it can still do a lot of, the CPU still works and all that. So it's still, I don't know if the mobile would actually be quicker than both my computers in regards of doing it. I know there are programs to do it. I think I might actually have it installed, but in regards of all the code and all that, I'm just pretty much on deep water. But anyway, the other way, as you can see, is like where I have like Carl Kohlhaas MP3 in the standard color of the, and I wonder if that is actually, because of course you get the colors in regards of the song, and then the author overall is not in the background, but it is still away from the title of the song. And I wonder if that is actually better to do it like that. And also, when you have, apparently the colors doesn't become white when you push something, which is, I don't know why it wouldn't become white, but I guess that's one of his, I guess it's a feature overall because it's used other places. Maybe we should turn it over here so I can, so I have a little more space. And of course, this works in the application, so that is very nice, that you can just turn it around 90 degrees without any problem. Now, the video player I have can't do that. It breaks every time, but apparently the guy that is creating these applications are going to make an update. I was looking into WordPress as well. In the past, I actually did set up a WordPress page, and I actually found it as well in the old, a little broken here and there, but overall it, had a lot of the things that, and instead of using Facebook, I should have been using WordPress. But sadly, not sadly, I guess, because I was into the occult and all that in the past. So the webpage that I have from of old is, I actually think that might actually be, I was trying to set up this webpage with a lot of different occult practices, and in regards of truth, and whatever, in regards of so-called stages and all that bullshit. I'm actually happy that I didn't get too far with that. I did set up the subjects and all that, and of course, it's gone now. So besides in regards of looking into old websites and all that, so this is standard where it apparently goes into, I think, metadata. I think they call it metadata or tags, and metadata or tags is in regards of the file itself, where you can put in information, and thereby using it fixes the name, and it fixes the title of the song. And now you can see I've titled okay, it's from Signal. Anyway, that's probably in regards of meeting up, and it would be pretty nice actually to meet up and have a talk, and get a break from all this anyway. But you can see the old was not with a space, so what I did here was make some spaces into it. But overall, the program takes the name first and then the title. Now, that would usually be the thing that I would do in regards of naming MP3 files or music files and all that, because then you get the guy in a cluster. If you have many MP3 files or whatever, if you take one MP3 file and all that, it's a lot easier to find what you want if you have the name of the the guy that. But the problem is that you don't have that much space in mobile mode in regards of this application. So what I have looked into, as you can see on the others, was to change that around in regards of having the title itself, because you're in the folder of Carl Kohlhaas, for example. So you don't need that information, that's not that important information. What you want to know is what the song is named, right? So that's the first and foremost important thing here. But of course, it wouldn't be. So again, there's a little, differences in regard, because again, if you have the name in front of it, it will take a lot of space, and thereby you might not be able to see the whole title. And of course, that's not so good. And we have the 150. I think I'll actually do it on the other way, but I'm still thinking about it. Which way would be the best way? So I've done it on two different ways. Here we have, just the color all throughout of it, and of course apparently there's some problems here. Still having to fix it. Okay, apparently I haven't fixed those yet. Well, it's the thing is, I've fixed most of the names in the 150, but I haven't fixed the links for the MP3 or not MP4 files. Sorry, it's the MP4 files, of course. Because I still need to find out what I'm going to name these 150 files, and what is the best way in regards to naming, and in regards to what does it do when I'm downloading. And yeah, it's some of the things are very tedious. Anyway, I have Hey Protestant. I wonder. Oh, that was my test. I can actually delete that. I was trying out in regards of difference of when you make a video from one format to another, which in regards of ultra fast, faster, medium, slow, slower, and very slow, and all that. And still, very slow seems to be the best that I have found. I still need some testing, and I actually could find some smaller files to actually do the testing instead of the bigger files, because I just want to see the results if it actually works, right? So I should actually because making actually these big files, testing things is just stupid actually. To test what works and what doesn't work and all that, and what makes the best results and all that. And that actually is a video that I could use for that. That would actually be very nice in the program itself. Of course, not really biblical and all that, but it will do for the testing purposes, I guess. Of course, it's not. I guess I could make it from one format to another format and then back again, and yeah, whatever. So I have pretty much sorted every Keith Green song that I have. So I only have one, which took a long time, but it's sorted now. I think that's 82 songs, and I also have some live songs from I haven't heard them all and all that, but at least I don't have. I think I had like 300 and something MP3 files of his. And the thing is, many of them was the same. And that's just stupid, And even the quality in regards of different, I remember in the past, where it was really, where every, kilobyte was, 128 kilobyte per second or whatever, I think it's something like that, was in regards of a CD quality. So when we have 196 or 320 and all that, and I have a test program where you can actually go into and look in regards to the files, what information it has. and some of the lower quality, some of the so-called lower qualities actually have more information than the higher qualities. Now, I don't know if that's because it has had a better source. That might be the case, because that seems to, some of the newer released music seem to be the MP3 file, or maybe it's the MP3 files that, or the program that have been able to take more information into the file or whatever. But apparently it's not like black and white in regards of 196, kilobyte per second and all that, compared to a 320 kilobyte per second, doesn't make it necessary that the 320 kilobyte per second file is better, or at least in regards of the application where I can see it, in regards of how much information it has. Now, most of it, as I understand it, our ears cannot even hear anyway, but so overall, it's really, me and all that, I'm having some issues in some sense. So, I have a way of just, looking into things and all that. Apparently we have two here, Sleep in the Night. I think one of them must be live and the other is not live, but apparently it doesn't have it in the metadata. That's the tags, apparently. And that's something I had to apparently learn a little about as well. Has so many things, and I'm downloading different programs to do different things, and it's just, it's kind of, all these things, and my brain is not working, but again, little by little and all that. Again, the fungus remedy seems to have an effect on the brain. That doesn't make it better and all that. But yeah, fighting fungi. Continuing to fight the fungi. Again, still the biggest problem I have is on my arms. But again, it seems to be going in the right direction. But hopefully, it will do further damage to the fungi. When I get on the I actually need to get the Diflucan on the pharmacy. I need to get down there and get it. Haven't started on that yet, but let's see how we go with some files that don't have metadata apparently, and thereby it just the files should work, but. Yep, and so as you see, the files does work, but the metadata doesn't work and all that. Actually, here we have a Inquisition song by J.B. Henry that actually does the same thing where it has the name behind. We have Brosmos. It has the why if it actually collecting the metadata? Oh, maybe I can do it like that instead. Usually you have the metadata where you have name and then you have the title of it. The problem is that the application I have here doesn't do it the way I want it to do, with the name in the last bit, instead of, so you have the the song's name in the beginning. So maybe actually there's a solution actually where I can maybe just go for the name and just put the data of both of it in the name tags instead of actually having two. Now it would just be easier if the program could just have flipped the things around, right? But that's apparently not. Again, that's the thing when you're playing around with these things, you're getting into one issue after another and have to figure out how the application actually works. And there's a huge amount of settings in this application. So just setting it up is, and then of course you get into all, one problem after another, and hopefully, hopefully it will sort things out over time. But at least I'm more accustomed to the things. I've tested a lot of things out in the application, what it can do and what it cannot do, and of course a lot of the things I'm not going to use anyway. So there are some of the features that seems to be maybe not. Maybe it could actually be helpful to but what I could do to make this how I want it to be was just to flip the things around. Now again, it's tedious to do, but it is so much tedious to be copy pasting and all that, but it should make it work. Now the problem is if he actually makes the program being able to do it in the other way, then of course I would need to toy around with things again, which could be tedious, but or maybe I could just get it. Maybe if you fix the application so one can set things up, it might not be doing. Oh well. Anyway, I'll take that as it comes, I guess. But a lot of the things is just seemingly tedious works to think to do this and that and all that. But moving forward at least. Protestant, so I can delete that pretty much. Of course, that's not really important anymore. That was just in regards of testing. I should actually have a folder. Well, the problem is that this doesn't take MP4 files on direct, so one needs to make a it's just sometimes some of the things is like, oh my, it's just why can't it even look into MP4 files? It doesn't make sense. It can play MP3 files and MP4 files, and yet folder mode in regards of where it just does like in regards of key green. Carl Kohlhaas, where it just loads the MP3 files, but that same feature doesn't work for MP4 files, apparently. I have no idea why that wouldn't work, why he wouldn't allow that, so that's kind of sad. So you need to make a list where you directly point to the files you want to test out in regards to the application. But moving forward, I guess, so I'm thinking a little in regards of the web page as well, because I found out if I actually go to Jesus is God Almighty, Jesus is yes. If I actually go to that web page, the problem is it's kind of small. It hasn't really been, of course you can zoom in and all that, and I guess, but it's kind of tedious to do. I don't know if it's much better if I turn the mobile around. It would probably still, it's workable, I guess, if you turn it around. It does seem a lot bigger, but it's still not really totally fine-tuned to mobile at all. It's kind of small. I guess I could make the text bigger, just so it would be bigger on the mobile. But overall, and by the way, this is the old player that I've inserted into the page. So the colors are a little more orange, and again, I still need to fine-tune some of the things in regards to the colors. It should actually be more of the color here where it points you to be able to push this, instead of just black. Most of the orange things are the things that you can actually push, and the white stuff is the things that you can push besides these two buttons, but they are fixed in the new version that I have, so they're not white anymore in regards to the other version. But of course, getting into box with the application, and of course then trying to get files how you want them and all that, it takes time. I have pretty much huge amount of ideas. The problem is to make it all work. Now in regards to the web page, I was wondering in regards to what would I, is there another way in regards of it, and I was thinking about WordPress, getting WordPress up. It was actually, the thing that when I tried. Apparently my neighbor is doing something to the wall. Maybe they're cleaning or something like that. It's kind of loudy in this apartment. But anyway, it's an older. Any case, yeah. What was it? I lost it. Huh. So yeah. So looking into in regards of WordPress and the two other CMS systems, I think they're called, which I can't remember what is, but in regards of where you can control your web page by graphical interface. And I have had WordPress and toyed around with WordPress in the past. It's many years ago, but I did have the website, which is now gone, obliterated into nothingness, I guess. Wow. But anyway, I was looking into Drupal, which is another of these, but last time I did that, it was just too difficult for me. But the wonderful thing with Drupal was that there was a forum inside the application itself. Of course, my Drupal got totally, the host had to close my Drupal site down because of the chat forum was totally spammed by advertising, and it just overflowed. Apparently they had problems in regards to the server and all that, and so they closed it down, which is fair enough, because it was it's this typical bullshit world in regards to destroying everything that people try to make, right? But anyway, I never got it really around Drupal because it just felt so hard for me to. The thing is, in regards to WordPress, at that point, and it's many years ago, so there's probably a lot of progress happening. There was some of the things in regards to WordPress where I just couldn't get further than this point. I went to a point where it was actually pretty, I had a lot of features and all that. It was pretty good, but at some point there was a point where it was really hard to actually get further. And if you wanted a forum at that point, you needed to have 2 different logins and all that. And I wanted to be like centralized in one single login. If you needed to log in, it would be nice to actually have the ability to just do it once, right? And I don't know if WordPress has maybe fixed the forum thing, now that where you don't need to, passwords. I don't know. I haven't, it's many years that I toyed around with it. But that was one of the things that I had of problems with WordPress. But overall, it was wonderful, actually. It saved your things and all that while you were writing, so you wouldn't lose what you were writing, things that was sensible and logical and reasonable, and not like, where you're sitting on Facebook or whatever and you lose all you have written or whatever. So it was a great, and it was very easy, user friendly as well. And, of course it did take a little time to set up and all that, but, when it was running, it was, it was easy to make things. And so sadly, I don't have my old web page just to get a reminder of that again. But I was thinking in regards to, because WordPress and all the 2 other systems are actually mobile fixed, so they apparently have a mobile mode where they just work apparently on the mobile. I haven't tried it out, but so that might be the way to go as well. And then, of course, in regards to the video application and the music application, they can actually be installed on WordPress as well, as far as I know. So, again, that will be a lot of tinkering around again. I'm doing a lot of tinkering around, actually. It's I think, actually way too much. But again, if I can set it all up, then I could focus on material, on the things, so that would be nice. But a little harder than... But anyway, I paid for, and actually that might have been a nice thing, I paid for this guy that makes these things, and I paid for all his applications. Now there's still a lot of problems in regards of updating the applications and all that, and keeping them up to date on that page, which is kind of annoying actually. But one of the applications I've toyed around with 3 times, and because I found out I didn't have the updated version, and then I got another version that should have been the updated version, but it was still not the totally updated version. And then I found out I actually had that, and then I began to, so there's a lot of toying around, because you need, your settings from the old to the new. You need to look into all the things, and find it, and, figure out in regards to how, if you want the settings from the old to the new and all that. And so that is a tedious thing to do and all that, and of course, it seems like I need to do it again if I'm going to do WordPress. Of course, it would make sense that it's probably the best thing to actually make I was thinking, in the past I wanted to go on Drupal, and there's another application CMS version thing that I can't remember what it's called. But the thing is, the applications are bought, the players here and all that, it's already being made for WordPress. So I'm like, okay, so it seems like WordPress then seems to be the best choice to then go ahead and set up a website again or something like that, and then toy around with the things. At some point I should, hopefully get to a point where it would be at the same place of feeling like I'm coming to, where I'm finished with the design in some sense, instead of using so much time on the design, right? And figuring out things here and there and all that. But in regards of the colors, of the rainbow colors, and of course 7 colors in regards of rainbow, in regards of the homosexuals, they use 6 colors instead of 7 colors, and but rainbow colors, normally 7 colors and all that. And it seems to be working pretty good with these colors. It looks, the idea was not to think about homosexual things. The idea is to think about the flood, in regards of God's promise and all that, in regards of biblical terms, that was the idea. And I thought, let's try it out, and it looks pretty good. I think this is the best way in regards of the colors, but I'm still not sure, And then it functions with also having, it light up in regards to the past. So it would serve 2 purposes. This is, I think I'll go with the other thing, but I'm still, I don't know. Let's make an update. The application still have a problem where the application becomes smaller if you are in a playlist that actually has fewer units in the playlist, and of course, which is very annoying. And I've written, there's a lot of bugs. The application is absolutely not perfect. Hopefully, he will sort a lot of the things out, but he has so many applications. So also, when you have this folder mode, it does take a little time to. Now, of course, I'm recording, so it takes more time because I'm recording and all that. But it's updating all the files, where if you actually write it directly into the HTML file, it will just pretty much load all the, all the names up instead of waiting for it. As you can see, it's scrolling along. Yeah, but getting into a problem here and there, and just finding out how to solve them here, little here, little here, and a little there, and of course needing to make something that actually can be usable for something, right? All these should work, I think. Yeah, I think I fixed all the. Let's see here. Clap your hands. Let's see if it works. Yeah, that works. So it seems like I've made the whole 49 new songs decorated.
Clap your hands, all people. Shout to God with the voice of joy. For the Lord Most High is to be feared.
as you can see, it works. But I guess I'll probably, maybe I should just go with this way. And again, if you push something, it will light up the Carl Kohlhaas as well. And that might help in regards to where you actually is. Now, in regards to the colors of this and this, I might toy around with that in regards of, but maybe it actually works pretty good as it is. I'm not entirely sure. I'll have to fine tune it here and there, a little here and there. And of course, this is something you can do over time and all that. So what was it in regards of I think I had another, that was a key green, so I could actually delete this. I pretty much only had this one to look at the differences with the playlist. And of course, in regards to the Carl Kohlhaas and new songs and all that, I'll see if I can maybe make that, differently work as I wanted to in regards to the metadata, which still is a little out of sense in regards to the metadata. But, if I had to go around things to make it work like I wanted to do, I'll have to do it, right? As the same here, it seems. You have the metadata, which takes two of the tags, I think it's called. You have the name of the author, that's one tag, and then you have the title is another tag, and it's divided by this thing and all that. But if there's no tag here, I don't think it will actually take that tag. I think I'll have to check that out, if it actually will make still a thing here. But the thing is, I would need to change it from, or maybe I would need to put the title in the name and the name in the title, and then it would actually, then it would work in the application. Now, of course, it would be kind of wrong, but that would be a solution to do it the other way around. That would be one way of doing it anyway. Or get the guy to fix the application to do it correctly, or as I wanted to. Make a feature that you can actually make the application do it like you want it to. So yeah. So little by little, it's going along, and he knows about a lot of the issues, I think, with the applications, both of them that I'm toying around with. I'm still not sure which one I should use, or if I should use both. I'm thinking of using both, but the problem, of course, is that you have this main folder that the application is using for some of the files. If you're using folder mode and all that. But the problem is you cannot use the same files from one application to the other application with this mode, because you can't use the same folder, because some of the files have the same name in both of the applications, and thereby you cannot just copy things in one folder, which I tried, and but a good amount of the files, or at least enough, I think it was like 10 or something like that, around 10 files or something like that, maybe more, but around 10 files or something like that had the same names and was different. So they were different but had the same names. So you couldn't do what I wanted to do in regards to just keeping it to one folder. So you could just have used for both of the applications one single folder. So you need to have two content folders instead of one content folder. And that's kind of sad. You can get around the problem with when you have direct, when you have HTML modes and all that, you can actually pinpoint to the other folder. But if you're running folder mode, you need to have it in that folder. So, as it's, I made a mistake in regards of MP3 here, I can see. I need to delete that. Mistake here and a little mistake there and all that, but yeah. Oh well. Yeah, I think I'll do it like this. I think I'll do it like this, you know. So the title just jumps out to you, and you still have the Carl Kohlhaas information, but it's still in the background, and that seems to be, of course, I guess you really don't need the Carl Kohlhaas and MP3 or MP4 information at all anyway, but I guess it's still nice to have some kind of, you know, it really doesn't matter for the user, I guess, you know, overall. You would still see the, you know, the who's made it up there, right? So I don't know. Yeah, I think I'll do it like this. Oh my nose is over.
Answer me when I call.
My nose is overflowing here apparently. So yeah. Anyway. So I think I'll do it like that, and I guess that makes sense, you know, because again, the name of the guide doesn't really matter when it's in regards to the title, you know, the title is the important thing here. So yeah, I think I'll do it like that. I think I'll fix the 150 files here back to, not back, but you know, with the title. I do wonder if I actually have, I'll take some time to do, but yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Yep. I'll do it like that, I think. Now you can remove the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and, but yeah, not sure about if I don't know if I need to remove those or not. I'll have to think about what I want the player to be as sterile as possible, you know. You just need to function, you know. You don't need all the graphic bullshit and all that. Of course, the rainbow colors are somewhat of a, but I'm thinking in regard of graphic, like, images and all that. I just needed like easy access, you know, and you can easily find the playlist and all that, and that's the way to go. The overall design, if I think about changing the design, it shouldn't be, you know, it's something that one can do, you know, as time goes down the line. Now, in regards of getting it to WordPress, there seems to be a lot of things I need to figure out as well in regards of that. Now, of course, I first need WordPress up and running. That's the first step, of course. And look into that, and then I'll see how I can maybe move some of the things that I'm making here over to the player and see how it's probably going to be more of a tedious work of things and all that. But you know, whatever. It would be nice to actually have a website again in some sense and begin to, now at least I know which direction to go, where, you know, I know what I, in regards of the information, in regards of exposing the Roman Catholic system, and of course pointing to Jesus, and you know, it's wonderful to know which direction to go, which way to follow, and oh my nose. So that's nice. So and begin to fill the website up with the information. It would be nice if I could just get it to the point where I had in the past, where it was, you just had focus on the things that you wanted to publish. You know, you could have focus on the pages, and it was working pretty good. And sadly, I don't have, even if it was a occult site and all that, it would still have been nice to see how I actually, just to get a remembrance of how I actually did some of the things. But WordPress wasn't really, it was very user friendly when you first had it up and running. So again, and then you can fine tune it as it goes while you still make information to the website. So And yeah, having some good Protestant videos on it as well would be nice. So again, trying to make it as user friendly as possible. And again, I don't expect that many people will come on the website anyway, but those that are looking for information and all that, I'll see if I can concentrate things down. Now, in regards of Carl Kohlhase, in regards to the music, I was looking for the 150 psalms in regards in music form, and I found Carl Kohlhase, but I found out he was a Roman papist. I haven't really found any Roman Catholic things in the Psalms at all. Yet, that's not exactly. I was looking into it yesterday, and there's like this Ascension 1, Ascension 2, Ascension 3, Ascension 4, Ascension 5, and all that. And I wonder where he gets that from in regards of the Psalms. Is that a Catholic thing or what? Yeah, I have to look into that because, of course, I don't want Catholic bullshit. I'm very, what do you call it, puristic in that matter. But the songs overall is following the books of the Psalms. So, but I wonder where he got this thing in regards of Ascension 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so forward. Is that coming from the Bible or is it not? Because I don't remember it actually coming from the Bible. So that might be a Catholic thing. I don't know. So I have to look into that at some point. Also in regards of Keith Green, I'm reading in regards of the problem is, yeah, it's not. Is it the problem with? Apparently it's like some kind of soft rock or something like that. That some of Keith Green. But the thing is, the songs are more radical than most of the songs that you find in the churches. Actually, way more radical, and I like radical. Extreme, and Keith Green was pretty. Now he'd had his issues, but he was growing, and I'm sure if he had been alive, he would have, he would have continued to grow as he did, So, but again, you can find issues in everybody, but we have to remember we are all disciples, and we are all growing to become more like Jesus, So we all have issues here and there. You can find issues with pretty much anybody, But the idea, are we, going in the right direction, right? So, yeah. But yeah, I did find TB who is making the applications. He actually, let's see if we can find it. Maybe it's in the, over here. I've installed the BS player again. That was actually my favorite player. It was working very good, and then I bought it, and then it stopped working, and then I've had trouble with it since, But apparently the guy that made the newer version that I also have, which is in beta version, which also have a huge amount of issues. It's interesting that an application works so good, and then buying it, then it broke it, it was working perfectly, and I was like very happy about it. And then buying it because I wanted the ads. That was the only issue I had with it. That was an advertising when you pause the thing, and then it's hard to take a screenshot, right? And sometimes I use the pause to see if it's good to take a screenshot and all that. Anyway, let's see if we can get back. Recently played. Here we have the Sticky Ultimate Video Player, and
Hello, my name is TB. In this video tutorial,
and TB is showing how it works in WordPress, and I was actually looking at it. I was like, that actually looks pretty nice, There's probably a lot of work to get things to, but that actually looks pretty nice. And again, a lot of his modules actually works for WordPress, and I'm like, okay, so I have access to all his WordPress plugins, so maybe I should just install WordPress. And again, it's many years ago, so a lot of the issues I probably had at that point in the past is probably sold today, where I felt like I couldn't move forward in regards to WordPress. That was now of course there was still a lot of things you could do in WordPress at that point, and I don't know why I wouldn't just be satisfied by that, but I wanted it, I wanted to have a forum at that point, and I wanted to be integrated with the username and all that, and you just couldn't do that at that point. And there was other things where there was things I wanted to do that I just couldn't do at that point. I think it was something regards of some video and all that. There was a great picture thing where you could actually fix pictures, and that worked very good. But yeah, there was things that I felt like, would be nice, but it's like over 7 years ago or something like that, if not more. So a lot of these things should have been fixed, and apparently it's become much more popular. And again, I should have continued to use it, but whatever. Instead of using Facebook, but whatever. So yeah, so I guess that's my status at the moment. And again, I need to blow my horn and take some more antifungals as well, and hit it hard and hit it good, and hopefully over time it will totally be taken totally back. But I'm not sure if my arm seems to be the worst, and my arms was also, my arms is hit with all these brown spots and all that I got after it began to move out in my arms. And of course all these black spots are just when it became into my breast, when it moved from underneath my what do you call it, my underneath the bones, underneath in the middle of the stomach and the breast, underneath the bones, when it moved from there on to the breast, around the breast and up, and make a U-turn down in the breast and all that from both sides after it exploded, or not exploded, but after it, what shall we say, metastasized. I guess that's another word, but metastasized when it moved, and it moved into my breast, and then of course then I had the explosion later on, and well, anyway, it's just horrible. But it has become a lot better. It's a lot more livable now than it was beforehand. After the explosion was just terrible. I had itching all over my body nearly. It was just nearly everywhere, and it was just so horrible. But it has become a lot better, a lot better. So that's nice. But it's still there, and it's just very, very low in regards of volume compared to what it was. But my arms is the worst. My arm seems to be the worst at the moment. These last couple of, I guess, weeks or something like that, the arm seems to be the biggest issue. But hopefully it will go. It will become less. Again, I still have 4 weeks of Diflucan, or 27 days actually, of Diflucan to take at some point, which I'm still preparing for. I was actually preparing that I should have been on it already, but because of other things, and because I got sick, little sickness besides the fungal infection, I have waited, and I'll take it, down the line. I'm still doing natural antifungals and all that, so it's, so not totally. So I'll just give it a hit more with the Diflucan at some point. At least I have for 7 days more. That will be, hopefully it will take it. It will give it another knockdown, and anyway. So I guess just talking with myself, I guess I found out in regards to the rainbow colors. I think I'll go with the other thing. I think that would be the the way to go. And yeah, is wrap. See, oh, I didn't put a dot insert. The idea, of course, was to get it on the main website, both of them, or whatever I choose to use, on the main website at some point. But I just divided it so I had, you know, where I could work on one and the other and all that without too much, what do you call it, you know, things into. But yeah, so testing the features here and there and getting used to the application. And there's still a lot of things I need to dig into and all that, but hopefully at some point I will be able to take a rest and just work with whatever is, you know, yeah, anyway. I think I'll do it like this. That likes, because, you know, yeah, it is extra information in regards of the author and MP4 or whatever, or MP3, and it already is in the top here. So it's not really necessary. So yeah, I'll think I'll do it like that. But it's nice, you know, the rainbow color. I do like the idea was pretty good, I think, in regards of the rainbow colors. Would have been nice to see it actually turn white when you pushed an item. And sadly, that's not the case. Would have just have been nice because, you know, light is all the colors, right? So that would make sense in regards of, yeah. But I guess you still have a little light out there. I don't know, whatever. Anyway, that's all for me, I guess. May Jehovah be with you, and Yeshua be your most precious pearl, and the Spirit of truth be in us all. Amen. Have a good one, all of you, and take care. It's a deceptive world, that's for sure. Bye bye. Shalom.